out there. And of course, it's dark as fuck on YouTube. It looks like it's nighttime, but whatever. Oh, thank you, thank you. I love you too, girl. You know I do. And let me tell you, I'm about to upgrade this YouTube channel using all of these gifts that I picked up in these last several months, in this last year of the wildest shit in the world that fucking occurred. So let me tell you what happened. First of all, I elevated as usual. I go into fucking hiding and I come out a more magical, glowing rainbow motherfucking unicorn. That's what happened. So while I was in hiding, the wildest shit in the world occurred. I'm done with some shit. Completely over the fucking fact. And trauma showed the fuck up. So if y'all been following the shit that I've been posting, I was getting messy yesterday. I was all over TikTok, all in my feelings. Messy Monday. I just put it all out there for the world to see it, okay? Because I ain't fucking... Trauma hit me. So let me tell you what trauma is. It's a temporary reality actions unstabling mind awareness. Now, what I put on IG, right? Because, won't tell the whole story to the world. But in that moment, what I put on IG was temporary reality altering uncomfortable mind awareness. So those two versions of trauma is what I'm working with in this discussion today. Let me tell you what happened. First and foremost, the wildest shit in my life occurred. I found out I was the second bitch. How'd you find out you was the second bitch, Trish? Because I asked for the truth. You didn't tell me, and I found out. Now, old school rule. Everybody mama done said this shit. You tell me the truth before I find out. So when I found out, of course, it was curtains. All contact, stop. We done here. Fuck you and your shrimp boat. I'm out. I ain't got time. I don't deal with messy energy. I don't put messy energy in my life. I purposely don't fuck with you. I asked you the truth. I found out. That's how it goes. That's the end of that situation. Well, how I found out was the fucked up part, y'all. My best friend died. My sister died. Godmother to my child died suddenly. On the same day, my father died 4 years ago. Let's sit with that for a moment. Temporary mind altering, just complete uncomfortable mind awareness. It was just fucked me up all in the same day. Now, this is where, had I not been who I am, had I not been diving deep into my trauma experiences, cleaning out the closet, throwing the motherfucking shit away I didn't need, where this whole bag that I found myself in would have exploded. I would have had cases, new bracelets, all types of negative fun shit that we all be looking forward to at the end of a fucking breakup. I ain't do none of that. I minded my fucking business and went on about my day. Okay? Me and my ancestors that don't fight fair. I done said this before. Me and my ancestors that don't fight fair went on about our fucking day. Okay? Went on about our day. As the days progressed, I found myself fucking tired, y'all. I'm tired of people coming at me with the dumb shit. If I was you, I would da-da-da-da-da. I don't understand why you da-da-da-da-da. Who the fuck you think you are? Da-da-da-da-da. Bitch, I'm me. I'm the reason you in VIP. Bitch, I'm fucking me. That's why. This is why it took me a while to come back to the Talk About It Tuesday. I know, drained. I was fucking tired. Like, real talk, I had temporary immobilization of reality, experiencing depression. I was fucking tired, completely drained. I'm losing my fucking candy all over the place. It's just, I'm tired, okay? If I tell you this shit happened within the last 2 weeks, y'all really gonna be like, and how the fuck are you right here doing what you're doing? Let me tell you how. So, all of this shit happens. Find out your girlfriend number 2, find out your best friend died. All of this shit happens, okay? Find out all of this shit happens. So in the midst of all of this shit happening, I'm still doing exactly what I do. I'm still blessing folk. I'm still out here giving my class. I'm still doing the teas. I'm still doing whatever I need. So if you don't know about me and Trish and her herbal tea, let me tell you, there's some new shit that came out of this. So we got the perfection for the asthma tea. We got a whole relaxation tea out this bitch. A lot of great things occurred through this trauma. But this trauma is some serious fucking trauma. So let me go back. My best friend of 14 years suddenly passes away. Let me tell you. Now, some of us don't take our friend groups as seriously as we fucking should. Like, real talk, we really don't pay attention to the level of extension of our friends. Like, our friends truly are manifestations in real life of personality traits that we have, versions of our life that we would ordinarily live out, but we have these people on this vibration as friends, as sisters. When you lose a person like that, thank you, girl, thank you. When you lose a person like that, let me tell you, this was my act right friend. This was my friend that reminded me, as bad as that shit could be, I still had an option to act like a lady. That was my act right friend. She always told me I still had an option to act like a lady. Trish, you can burn that paper on their ass, but you don't have to. Trish, you ain't gotta go over there with the pals and shit, because it's gonna work itself out. But just in case, bitch, our lawyer's on deck. That was my homie, yo. That was the chick who really knew. If I went to jail, I robbed 4 banks, and she knew where the fucking money was. She knew what happened. She knew. That was my homie. With that trauma going on, and then you deal with emotional destruction, that's where my podcast, The Weak Bitch Invitations, came out at. So if you don't know about my podcast on Anchor and Spotify, you need to go to the Spiritual Basics. Also check out Janae's podcast, because we did a dual cast that day. And check out Janae's podcast, Talks with Janae. That's her name. Check those 2 out, because I'm telling you, we're going to go into depth about how the Weak Bitch Invitations came in. But let me go back to my words with trauma. When you're sitting in a room, now this is you try not to give too much of the personal business on the outside of what you know, because I told you this was my best fucking friend. So I knew what was in her heart, because I was the friend that is the keeper of the heart secrets. I knew the shit that went down up until the days of her death. I knew how her birthday went similar to mine. That was my friend, like my sister. That was my bloodline at this point, right? So I'm dealing with those emotions too. Because when you're dealing with your shit, and then you find out that you're dealing with somebody else's stuff because they no longer here. Now, the stuff that you're dealing with, that's somebody else's stuff. Hey, Blue, how you doing? When you're dealing with somebody else's stuff that's no longer here, you're really dealing with the aftermath of what you thought they would do. You're dealing with the questions and the emotions that they left you with. You're literally dealing with loss. You're dealing with the oversaturated, I'm sorry, where'd I put my L at? Oh, where'd it go? The literal oversaturating sadness. Because I can no longer pick up the phone and call my friend, and the fuck shit that makes me so angry, y'all. That makes me angry is I called her the day she died. It went straight to voicemail. I called her the day she died. I sent her a text message and said, "Are you good?" So, ain't nobody ever seen me grieve. And this is a new platform. This is a new thing. Because, you know, we don't grieve in public. For whatever reason, we're taught to experience loss and have it as hoeing. Real talk. We're supposed to hold on to everything. We're supposed to experience loss. We're supposed to experience the literal oversaturating sadness is holding on to everything. Ain't nobody else supposed to go through what I'm going through. Ain't nobody else supposed to hold on to these burdens with me. Well, let me be honest. We come from a community. We weren't born into a fucking vacuum. And to be even more perfectly honest, I ain't the only person who experienced this loss. There's other people who know this person who is experiencing the loss. And the more that our community bands together, the stronger we can be to come out of this loss with the lessons that we can move forward in life. We can give our people the flowers they deserve today instead of saying, oh shit, it was your birthday yesterday and I'm going to do something today, when a meaningful thing you could have did was cook a bitch breakfast. You could have made lunch. You could have washed the fucking dishes. You could have did something so minuscule that meant so much to the person that you're sharing your time with. That loss isn't so great. Thank you, babes, for the hugs. Even that, thank you for the hugs, okay? Because I'm on IG Live too with this. Even those virtual hugs, those hearts, is a part of a community that helps a person to become stronger through trauma when they are temporarily going through reality-altering, uncomfortable mind awareness. Waking up every day realizing you can't call your sister. You can't call your mother no more. You can't call your father no more. You can't call your baby dad that you broke up with. You can't call your girlfriend that you don't fuck with. You can't call your cousin. Those are fucking losses. Those create trauma. Those is what the things that we should not be out here hoeing with. Call your crazy buddy. I got 2 of them. As a matter of fact, I'm lying. I got more than fucking 2 crazy buddies. I got crazy buddies that don't even live in this state. They know my crazy buddies. They know they my crazy buddies, because when a bitch call, I'm out of nowhere with it, and I really need your processing on it. Absolutely. Why? Because you're supposed to reach out at these times. When you are suffering trauma, when you are going through reality-altering awarenesses, when you are having breakdowns on a day-to-day basis, you need to reach the fuck out and let people know you are experiencing loss. You are going through a literal oversaturation of sadness. Some shit did not work out. You feeling real bad about it. You wish it could have went a different way. You thought there was more time. All of these fucking things are trauma. Too much, too fast, too soon, all the goddamn time. And we out here supposed to be wearing our Wonder Woman shirts with our faces with smiles, painted for the gods, so that you can not see the loss I'm experiencing. No, fuck that. I'm bringing it to my real community. A bitch is going through some loss and had been for about a few weeks now. And it took me to have to go back to what I do best. What I do best is help other people through these things, to realize that this is an experience. This is not a sentence. Yeah, I lost my best friend, but I'm still living, goddammit. No offense to nobody else, but let's keep it a buck bean. It was an experience. It wasn't a sentence. Just because she's gone doesn't mean my life has to stop. And my life did not stop because she was gone. She enriched my life. Therefore, I need to give those enrichments to someone else. I need to tell somebody else, yo, you can be a fucking lady. You don't need to be out here acting a fool. You can. And let it be known that you really fucking can. But you don't need to, baby. Back that train on up. Get over it. Because my next word is just that: when you're done. A lot of people say it all the time. We be like, we're fucking done. I'm done with you. I'm done with this. I'm done. Well, let's talk about done. It's a depressive outburst using negative emotions. I'm mad as fuck. Because I have a loss that I can't even explain. When you lose both your parents, your paramour, and then your best friend all within a 5-year span, like, you get to asking questions for a new application for life. Let's be honest. You get to really going in deep, like, hold on, what the fuck happened with me? Did I deserve to have all of these things? When, to be truth be told, it wasn't anything that was about you. These were all growing points. These were all learning points. These were all emotional things that you were supposed to overcome, not succumb to. You were supposed to reach out. You were supposed to let somebody else know that these are things that human beings fucking go through. And the unfortunate part about a human experience is the bitch ain't consistent. You can be consistent in it, but it itself ain't consistent. That's what they say. That's life. That's what people say. But the way you live your life, the things that you give back, the people that you enrich in your life, is what happens at the end of it. You get a person like me who says I experienced a loss and you were such a powerful being in my life. I'm going to give in this loss the same way you would have. When you find that you ain't got nothing left, and I made this joke with somebody else, and please, all my Christian folk, don't get mad at me. All my spiritual people, you understand where I'm coming from when I say Jesus is 5,000 niggas. When you have nothing left, try Jesus. When you ain't got shit left, try Jesus. Try the motherfucker who got lied on, crucified, beat the fuck up, put the fuck out, lied on again, crucified again, beat the fuck up, and put the fuck out. Like, let's be honest. Try Jesus. Try all the 5,000 niggas who went above you and beyond you. Try all of those reputations. Try all of those stories. Because I kid you not, I went down a list of my ancestors, and I'm like, yeah. My mother, and this is crazy because I remember this in my childhood. My mother lost her best friend, which was my sister's godmother, at the age of 37. I happen to be that same age in that same situation. I'm going to help somebody learn this lesson. It ain't the fact that we chose poor quality of beings. It's the fact that the beings that we chose, the relationships that they were in, fucking killed them. They didn't understand the level of trauma and the physical destruction that comes from it. We're going to help somebody with this lesson today. You holding on to everything. You out here experiencing loss. You are literally oversaturated in sadness. You done. Try addressing your trauma. Try understand what is altering your mental state that's causing your physical derailment, that is allowing you to be put into an early grave. That's stopping you from being able to fulfill the things that your prophecy was yet to fulfill. Because let me be honest, only the people that experience the loss are the people who lost somebody important to them. And the way each person experiences that loss is how the trauma affected them. See, I can't say that my story is the same as everybody else's. We all lost that person, absolutely. But nobody else had a mother who lost a similar person in their lifetime that can remember that story unless you can, which puts us in a special vibrational club of understanding a life lesson. We choose different editions of our personalities to be friends. And the unfortunate part of that is the universe has to make the additions to keep us on our purpose. Now, some of y'all might not understand where I'm going with that, and a few of y'all picked it up real quick. The universe found fit to remove my person, my best sister, my friend from this atmosphere, to remove a part of my personality that was blinding my ass to what was really going to fuck on. I was pimping me out for happiness that I already had inside. I'll give you a minute with that. You heard me. I was pimping me the fuck out for happiness that I already had inside. Like, real talk. In my podcast, I had said this on Anchor. I kid you not. I'm going to keep telling you. Go to the Spiritual Basics podcast. Listen to all 6 parts of the Week Bitch Invitation with me and my homies. Vibe Death is in there. Tia Janae is in there. You need to get on that podcast because we really go into depth about this particular topic on loss, though. Every person who loses a relationship asks themselves, what the fuck did I do? Especially if they feel like they're at a loss, if they are literally oversaturated in sadness. And if that's a loss from your job, a loss of a friend, a loss of a coworker, a death in the family, you really go back and be like, damn, did I do something karmically for them to take such a special thing away from me? Day 2, in loss, in trauma, if you're starting to become well, if you're starting to pay attention to your emotions, you start to ask about the thing that was taken. You start to ask about the purpose that the thing that was taken that had in your life and whether or not it achieved said purpose. Or was there more that it needed to give? And if there was more that it needed to give, then honestly, you did not take a loss, because the more it was going to give you, it never did. So if it never did, then you done. What you doing at this point is just depressive outbursts and negative emotions. You just mad for no good reason. Your good enough reason was already there. The universe said you can't have it no more. It's gone. And you like, but I wanted it. Keep it around. You didn't realize that your friend was fucking suffering. You ain't realized that them people was talking about you behind your back. Exactly. You lighten the load. You didn't realize that the universe did exactly what you said. You said, take all the negative things out my life. I don't need it no more. I'm going to light this candle. I'm going to be in these challenges. I'm going to change my life. Take this shit away. And now you over here done. Having depressive outbursts and negative emotions. You blowing up phones, calling in threats, yelling at family members, calling this and doing that. Why? Oh, because you're suffering from trauma of a loss. You're literally oversaturated in sadness. You keep going over the fact that what you could have, shoulda, woulda, da-da-da-da-da, it would have been, it could have been. Well, let's talk about right now. Day 3, reality shows the fuck up with mind-altering awareness. You can no longer call that person and ask them what they're doing unless you are spiritually inclined to. Unless you can make that long-distance call, because I told you. My ancestors don't fight fair. On purpose. I got 5,000 niggas, and my mother was one of them 5,000 niggas that already repeated this part in the cycle. You really think she not mad than a bitch? That you tried to put me through some similar shit? Oh, hell no. Fair warning. Here's the dreams. Here's the tarot cards. Your friend just called. Your other cousin called. Here's all the warnings you fucking need to turn the fuck around and understand that, yes, you suffered a loss. Yes, you went through trauma. But when you go through these things, you acknowledge your warning signs. You acknowledge your feelings, and you live the experience. You do not let it be a sentence. It can't stop me from doing Talk About It Tuesday. I got to get back on it. I can't stop being the Morals Worst Wonderful Trish. That's who the fuck I am. I can't stop it. Because I can't just have the done. I can't do it. But what I do need is support. Right? I need special understanding, purposely planning other reasonable truths. That's some phone calls that came in. My support came in. Like nobody's business. I'm sitting here, woe me. I don't know how the fuck this is going to go down. This is about to look real crazy. I'm about to look like a bad guy. I'm about to look like this. I'm about to look like that. And my phone started blowing the fuck up out of nowhere. Girl, there was a disturbance in the force. Girl, what's going on with you? Hey, did you ever think about going ahead and doing this? You know what? You should put that in your podcast. You know what? You should start writing that book you said you wasn't going to do. My other purposeful planning showed up. My support showed up. Wasn't nobody trying to help a bitch. Wasn't nobody trying to handle my experiences, limiting my plans. Wasn't nobody saying, oh, girl, yeah, I know how you feel. You should just stay right there with that moment, girl. None of my homies do that. None of them. They all threw in the support. They all threw in the special understanding, purposely planning other reasonable truths. You still alive, girl. You still got fire in you. You still got things you can do. And if that's what it is, then when I'm suffering a loss, homie, I got my support team. And I had to go back and really think about how I chose my friends. I chose each one of my friends to give me back what I poured into their cup so that we can keep the reciprocity going. Thank you. Thank everybody who's watching or hearing that. Thank you for sending your love and support. But when you suffer a loss, let me tell you, sometimes you just be done. You just be in depressive outbursts, negative emotions. You just at a point where everybody must suffer the way I suffer. Y'all did her dirty. I need to do you dirty. I need my fucking revenge back. You get to that spiritual point and you be like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Day 4. Wait a minute. I'm about to expend all of this energy for beings who don't deserve it. The energy gonna make itself right on your side. I ain't gotta add no extra parts to it, but the parts that I do need to add, the parts that I can add, or the influence that I need for my businesses to grow. So what I'm going to do is take all of that depressive, negative energy. What I'm going to do is take all of that and put it into my shit. I'm going to do my Talk About It Tuesdays. I'm going to come up with more tea blends. I'm going to make sure that people know that I got a podcast out here. I'm going to make sure that the Patreon is getting its shit together. I'm going to make sure of it. Why? Because I have to realize that trauma can give you the strength that you need to move, but you have to be willing to go through the emotions. You have to be willing to honestly state your truth. You have to be willing to experience your loss. You have to be willing to say, I'm fucking done. You got to be willing to go through all of that. Because that temporary mind altering awareness, let me tell you, whew, that's a bitch. Especially when you're trying to stay out of jail. You just want to stay out of jail. That's what you try to do. That's what you try to do. But let me tell you, when you get tired, pay attention to your trauma. When you get tired, that is trauma initiating real energetic depression. The day my best friend died, I tried to take a nap all fucking day and I could not. I don't know what happened in that day. I just could not rest. I was so restless, it wasn't even funny. I called her and I texted her that day and got no response. And you know, being a human being, I'm like, whatever. I let another few days go past, and then I reach out to another person who tells me the truth. I lost her. She gone. If anybody ever wanted to lose their candy in that moment, that was me. If anybody ever wanted a good reason to just go homicidal, that was me. If anybody ever thought about the questioning and the being of what they do in their life and whether or not their light is just too bright for others to stand, that was me. All of those things were me in that moment, because in that loss that I'm experiencing, I'm going back through the other trauma pains that I've actually experienced. I'm going back through the deepest trauma pains that I've experienced, because when you've known a person for that long and you realize that they're not here, it takes a while. It took me several days to recognize the truth. And the truth isn't always as pretty as we want that shit to look like. The truth is at the time I was obsessing and using my time for another being in this world that I thought was more important than my friend. And all of the inclinations to drive past that house, I ignored on purpose. That's a hard truth, y'all. That's a hard truth, to not go clear across town and see your homie that you care enough about to call. That's a hard truth when you sitting in that moment. And then after you sit in that moment for a while, you realize that that moment is just trauma. That moment is just sadness. That moment has no love in it. That moment is none of the things in which you should be remembering this person or your experience by, because at the end of the day, you still very much called. You still very much cared. Those are the moments that you have to actively combat. You have to really look at your emotional awareness. You got to grab your crystal, call your friend, get your support network together and recognize these truths. People don't realize that grief is a bad motherfucker. It's so bad that bitch will sneak you up and chokehold the fuck out of you real quick, and you don't even realize you in it until you in it. It's, hey, how you doing, Ursula? I'm talking about my loss and my trauma, girl. When you realize that you're in grief, you realize that you are literally oversaturating sadness. That's what I meant. But the oversaturating of the loss makes you tired. It makes you truly tired. It's trauma initiating real energetic depression. You can't even seem to find food appetizing. Drinking water is really a reminder that has to be set in your phone. When you experience the type of loss that a person like myself went through, it's just like, how the fuck does these things happen to this person? Because I'm supposed to teach somebody else how to get through it. That's the only method to this universal madness that I've been able to truly come up with, because I'm such an empathetic human being. I literally want people to get warning signs and roadmaps to how to get through these trauma points. When you start to experience such a thing of loss, you have to pay attention to the grief that comes with it. And the grief that comes with it can either pull you further down or it can literally build you up. But it's how you look at the grief, and you have to look at it with straight up love. You have to look at it with straight up love. You have to tell yourself on a daily basis, look, bitch, I know it was tough, but shit, it was tough. We talking to you today. We talking to you today. You good. You woke up. You can make a joke about it. I know it was tough, but we talking to you today. You good. You woke up. You still got 2 good feet and your right mind. As a matter of fact, the bill collector's still calling your phone, so that shit is on. What you gonna do? You still got some very much good things to do in this day. What you gonna do? Are you going to give yourself the opportunity to be the best that you possibly can? Or are you going to derail yourself by telling you that you could have did so many other things so much better and so much better and so much better? But to be honest, you did what you could with the information you had. And you are suffering through something right now that you really don't have to suffer through. What you can do is just yourself several favors and treat you with love. You can bring your support in. You can tell yourself, you know what, today is a hard ass day and I think I'm going to go get ice cream. I think we're going to have Sundays for dinner. Fuck it, deep fried Oreos for dinner. I kid you not, happened in my house. Depression is a bad motherfucker. It's a bad motherfucker. Y'all can talk about me if you want to, but food makes me happy. It's the one consistent thing that ain't never failed me, especially if I know how to cook it. So, deep fried Oreos it was. Happy moments. Why? Because I fucking deserve to have them. Just because you're experiencing loss, just because you're going through a tough time, doesn't mean that you don't deserve to get as many happy moments in as you possibly can, which also helps you to understand that happy isn't always a state of mind. It's a state of being. You can pull that bitch in anytime you fucking need her. You can always be a goddamn lady. You ain't always got to fuck people up. Which means I can always choose to be happy. I can allow my grief to not be so angry. I cannot look at the people that I felt like betrayed my friend. I cannot say that it was their fault. I cannot place blame. Why? Because I don't have to literally oversaturate my sadness. I don't need to oversaturate it with anger. I don't need to disrespect it with grief. I need to just be honest with the people on my support team and let them know that I'm hurting. I'm going through some shit. I done lost possibly the most important things that I thought were important to me in the past 10 years. And I'm still here. You can make it better for yourself. You can do yourself several favors and realize that you are who you are and you still alive. Life is a fucking experience, not a sentence. It's an experience, not a sentence. You still have very many more days to be happy. And if you don't think you do, then you already living in one. Why aren't you happy? If you out here acting like you ain't got no days left, then explain to me why you ain't going to go blow the bank and be happy today then. It makes no fucking sense. That means you planning for more days to be happy. Don't plan for more days to be miserable. Don't plan for more days to put yourself in trauma. Trauma is some shit that happens too much, too fast, and too soon. That's it. All the goddamn time is what I add in my trauma goddess class. So, thank y'all for sticking around for this video. I done ran out of time running my motherfucking mouth about it. But I'll be back with some more stuff. I mean, it's Talk About It Tuesday. So I got some more shit to talk about. But I got to go get the kids. So thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all later.